Welcome to Money Wisdom, sponsored by Johnson Brunetti. I'm Natasha Lubchenko. We're teaching you smart ways to manage your money, and here with expert advice is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner and Johnson Brunetti partner. Eric, thanks for joining us. Now, I bet when you meet with people, they often ask how much money they need to retire. Is there a magic number here?
There's a magic number for every person, but it's not universal to everyone because, of course, we all have different lives and different thoughts about what we want retirement to look like. So that's a really important conversation to have before you retire, and as early as possible so you can have a plan to get to whatever your number is.
Okay, so let's talk about factors that affect how much someone needs to retire. The first one you say is longevity. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to people all day, every day who are either retired or about to. And a very common question, well, do we have enough? And most folks feel they have enough for a few years, but they also don't plan to retire and live a few years. They plan and hope to live a long time. So longevity risk is where you did a good job, you had a plan, you saved money, you did everything that should have done, and then you just lived a lot longer than you thought you were going to live. So the question is, are we going to have enough, if there's two of you, to live how we want to live for as long as we both live? So you got to plan around that too. Look at health.
Okay, and now we also need to consider inflation.
Everything's going to cost more money. So the reality is the first 5 to 10 years of retirement for people, you're probably going to spend more money. A lot of people retire and then immediately start spending more money because you have more time to do the things you want to do. And a lot of times that's, you go to shows, you go to events, you go on vacation, you go out to eat more. But 15 years in retirement, you're probably going to do less of that stuff. At the same time, everything is going to cost more money. Think about how much a car was 20 years ago, gas, milk, all of that. Your money needs to be growing, and we know the bank is not going to be doing that. That's not the purpose of money in the bank. So you need to grow your money.
All right, now this next one is important. Medical and long-term care, something we need to think about.
You need to have a budget, and a lot of people, I've never had a budget. It has a bad connotation. It's not about restricting spending. It's about being realistic about what you spend money on, because the more accurate you can be with that number, it's going to help to make sure that you don't pay taxes on money that you're not actually spending. We don't need to be paying more taxes. We need to be getting better growth. But when you look at a budget, healthcare is a big one of those expenses that's probably going to go up every year for the rest of life. So make sure you're being realistic.
And now, Eric, what about this one? Retirement income.
Most folks, if you're going to be fully retired, so you're not going to have a retirement job, which, I mean, a lot of people that really like that, you have some more income coming in from that. But if you're not going to, your income is going to be Social Security, maybe you have a pension, and most importantly, your money and what it's doing. So much of the focus, okay, well, I have $1 million. Is that enough to retire? We focus on the number, but it's not so much about that number. It's what that number can generate for you, because most people are not planning to run out of money. So how much can you draw off of your money if you hope for it to last? And that's not just about investing, but also, of course, taxes, risk, fees, all that.
All right, Eric. And finally, the final factor that affects how much we need to retire is investment risk.
The market's doing so well right now. Why would I want to get out of it? People say that all the time. Depending upon what market environment you're in, you need to think, there's a lot of things that are different in retirement. You don't have to arbitrarily, well, it's all different now, I have to make all these changes. You don't want to do that. But you think about how you got to retirement is consistently saving, probably into your 401k, over a long number of years. And you never took money out, and it got bigger, bigger, bigger. And here you are. You're not saving money anymore. And now you have to draw money out. And even if you don't need to draw money out or want to draw money out, at 72, the government's going to force you to. So your investments have a different job now, and you need to make sure that your plan is optimized, is maybe a financial planning word, but you need to make sure it's as good as it can be for you now and ongoing.
So Eric, final question here. For people who ask, can I retire with $1 million? What would you say here?
It depends. Some people, they couldn't spend $1 million if they had 2 lifetimes. There's people that spend it in a year. And that's why, so much of this is we're focused on giving good advice and general things to be thinking about, conversations that you should be having ideally before retirement. And it's not that you have to do this or you have to do this, but you have to talk about it, address it, have a plan, and move forward. You didn't work all these years and put yourself in a position where you can retire as a result of making good financial decisions and living within your means to get to retirement and spend the rest of your life afraid of spending the money that you spent a lifetime saving. And that's just a plan. More often than not, it's not about spending less. It's about, feeling okay that it's okay to spend your money because you have a plan and it's going to work.
Good advice there. So how can we better prepare for retirement, Eric? I know you have a special offer for our viewers today.
There's a book. It's called The Pre-Retirement Checklist. Do not wait until you're retired to start thinking about what retirement's going to look like, because you don't have as many options. And we always hope best case. You also have to plan and prepare worst case. Well, I'm going to work till 65. Well, at 62, your employer has a different idea of what your future is going to look like. And now you get this offer to retire. Can you? Do you have to go back to work? Do you have enough? So you can get this book. It's get it at www.moneywisdomtv.com. Again, it's the pre-retirement checklist. Even if you're already retired or you're 30, read it, because you don't want to find out that, oh, geez, I should have done that, when you no longer have the option of doing it. So again, it's moneywisdomtv.com. It's a great book. I encourage you all to read it and you'll get value out of it.
All right, Eric Hogarth from Johnson Brunetti. That is such a great offer. Thank you, as always. And if you would like to learn more, again, that website is moneywisdomtv.com. For CT Style, I'm Natasha Lubchenco, and we'll see you next time.